$1 for eternal happiness. I'd be happier with the dollar.
I'm gonna make my Monday. I'm gonna make my Monday.
Welcome back to Bet It and Bank It, Blow It. I am Magnum Mills, and I'm here to help you get your wager on for the Sunday main slate of Week 14 of the 2025 NFL season. We are running out of weeks before you know it. The holidays will be here, and the playoffs will be upon us. No Jamie G this week, so you don't get a Jim Moore impression. I'm just going to do my best to help you make a couple bucks this week. Thank you very much for checking out Bet It, Bank It, Blow It. We are presented by Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seize the Gap FF and on the web at seizethegapff.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please touch the thumb. Please know that we are not affiliated with the DraftKings Sportsbook, but that's where we're getting our odds and wagers from. Everything is accurate as of December 4th, 2025. Here on Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, our preferred currency is the cricket coin. In cricket, we trust, so all of our wagers will be in the form of cricket coins. As far as overall thoughts on the Week 14 Sunday main slate, I think there are two extremely interesting games in terms of their playoff implications. You have Cincinnati traveling to Buffalo, where the Bills are favored by 5.5. Big total in that one, 53.5, despite there being maybe a little bit of snow, but it's going to be very cold, maybe a little bit of wind there, so that's a pretty big number. And then you have Pittsburgh and Baltimore, where the Ravens are favored by 6, despite losing to the Bengals, pretty convincingly on Thanksgiving. That one's 42.5, so that feels like maybe a little bit more in line. But on the other hand, if the Ravens offense came to play, you would think they could put some points on the board here. Both of these games are very interesting to me, but I don't know how much interest I'm going to have in terms of wagering. I definitely want to get on James Cook here. I'll certainly have some interest in the Burrow and Jamar Chase props. Maybe I get involved if I'm doing anything as sides there. Taking the points with the Bengals is probably my favorite of the bunch, but you never like to go against Josh Allen and the Bills in Buffalo, especially later in the season. So again, outside of a few props and fantasy exposure, DraftKings, all that stuff, knock yourself out. Just don't know if I'm going to mess with the straight outcomes or even the total that much in that one. Kind of the same thing for the Steelers and Ravens game. There are a couple of pieces you would like to have interest in for the Ravens, but it just doesn't look like Lamar Jackson is that healthy right now. It really wouldn't surprise me if this is a very kind of low-scoring, ugly game. But maybe if the Ravens can open it up, the Steelers could follow suit. Although it seems unlikely with the way Aaron Rodgers has been trending downward, especially now that he has that broken, non-throwing wrist hand injury he's got going on there. So it feels like the Ravens are going to win this one, but I don't know if I'm confident enough to lay the 6 points. So again, probably another one I'm staying away from unless I want to buy the total up to get under it. Makes it more of a prop leg or a parlay leg than it's something I'm going to be attacking individually. And then you had the AFC showdown, the Colts traveling to Jacksonville, where they famously haven't won in about a decade. I was on Houston last week at Indy. I'm probably going to be on Jacksonville at home here. I just think these are two teams that are trending in different directions. I don't think all is lost for the Colts. I know Daniel Jones can play through this fibula fracture, but it's certainly impacting his presence in the pocket and on some of his throws. He's sailing a little bit now. Some of his mechanics are regressing here. His numbers under pressure have regressed quite a bit since the beginning of the season. Their offensive tackles have not been playing as well. Defenses are loading up on Jonathan Taylor, and don't discount the absence of DeForest Buckner and Sauce Gardner on the defensive side of the ball. Meanwhile, the Jaguars are starting to get healthy. No Travis Hunter, but you got Brian Thomas Jr. back. Looks like Parker Washington will be out there, also dangerous in the return game. Jacoby Myers has been solid. You got the 1-2 punch at running back with ETN and Bashal Tutin. That Jaguars defense has been playing better, very opportunistic, can get some pressure on the quarterback. So I think I'm liking the Jaguars here, but this game has massive implications, especially depending on the outcome of that Texans and Chiefs game. If the Texans win, the Jaguars win, it is going to get interesting in the AFC South, and I am most definitely there for that. It's a little tough for me to get a handle on the Commanders at Vikings game. It's not even so much who will play quarterback for the Commanders. As I'm recording this, it does sound more likely to be Jaden Daniels than Mariota. It's just more about the Vikings. The defense is still solid enough. Lost in the shutout last week. They did a very good job against Sam Darnold, all things considered. I mean, really a good job overall. I mean, when the offense is giving points away to the defense, it's really tough to fight back from that. So I think the Vikings can present a pretty good challenge here for the Commanders offense on the road. I know they looked good against the Broncos, but that was coming off the bye week with a lot of time to prepare. They just got McLaurin back. I don't think they're going to catch anybody by surprise this week. So it all really come down to that Vikings offense, and can they get just below average production from the quarterback position? Not even average, just slightly below average, and that might be enough to win this one. So it's very interesting. This is always the time if you wanted to really, dig deep and take a shot on some Justin Jefferson props, you're going to get a price you wouldn't have dreamt possible at the beginning of the season. But of course, there's a reason for that. Just keep an eye on Aaron Jones, the running back. If he is out, I'll have a fair amount of interest in the Jordan Mason props. But if he is out there, I'll probably be shying away from both backs, both in wagering and even in fantasy. And then you have the Chicago Green Bay game. Green Bay's a better team. I have no doubt about that, but I also watched what Chicago did to my Philadelphia Eagles last week on Black Friday. I'm just not sold that the Packers can come through. Other than against Detroit, they've more or less let us down in more spots than they haven't this year. Meanwhile, the Bears just keep seeming to find a way to win. So this is a spot where you're getting the NFC leading team in a divisional game, getting almost a touchdown. I know it's on the road. It's going to be very, very cold at Lambeau Field, but this Bears team has shown an ability to rush the ball. It's a big component of their offense, as it was for Ben Johnson over in Detroit when he was running the offense there. So this is a spot where I definitely think the Bears are live. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Packers win, but I don't think I feel comfortable laying close to a touchdown here. And then you have some games that you have teams that look like they're in a pretty good spot here. The Broncos seemingly could bounce back from that close win over the Commanders in overtime. Matchup against some Raiders, that the team that's just going the wrong way. They just fired a $6 million a year coordinator in Chip Kelly. Max Crosby's a little bit questionable now, so it seems like the Broncos in a really good spot there. The Rams are favored by 8.5, traveling to Arizona. They want to get back at that, just back on the grind after that big loss to the Panthers last week. The offense was better than you think. They just had some really poorly timed turnovers, a little bit of the turnover luck just regressing to the mean here. I don't really have any overall concerns. Bryce Young, give him credit, made some really good throws on fourth down. About two plays go differently, and the Rams would have won fairly comfortably, and we wouldn't even be talking about it this way. And meanwhile, Jacoby Brissett seems to be doing what he always does. Always plays pretty well for 4 or 5 games. We're like, wow, this guy's pretty good. And then he kind of just slowly backslides into mediocrity. Possibly no Marvin Harrison Jr. again here. So maybe you can get me, on the Michael Wilson props. You might be able to start him in fantasy. Also, probably no Trey Benson coming back either. So I think I'm probably willing to go back to the Rams here, lay the points on the road. Wouldn't surprise me to see them win by double digits. Seattle's laying a touchdown at Atlanta. It is what it is. I'm a little bit worried that defenses have at least figured something out about Darnold. He's had 2 pretty horrific performances in a row, but this Falcons defense has really regressed after playing pretty well to begin the season here. It feels like they're playing out the string. Raheem Morris could be in trouble. It's very interesting to see how this one goes. I'm not totally comfortable laying the touchdown here, but my rule has been just kind of avoid the Falcons and the Panthers. I'm feeling a little bit better about going against the Falcons now than I did a couple of weeks ago. There still is a chance for the Monster Bijan game or the defense to turn Darnold over a couple of times. So I'd probably lean Seattle -7. I don't love it. And then you have Tampa Bay -8.5 at home against the Saints. This is the survivor game of the week. Everything lining up pretty well for the Buccaneers here. Just don't love the 8.5. The Saints have been feisty at times. I don't think it really matters whether or not Kamara plays. Probably more impactful for the Bucs that everybody is healthy. Bucky Irving getting a full workload this week. If that defense plays pretty well, I don't know that the Saints can score, more than 20, 24 points at the most. Wouldn't surprise me to see it wouldn't surprise me to see the Bucs be able to score, 28-7, 28, 30 points, something like that here. So don't love laying the 8.5, but I would probably lean that way over the Saints as of now. You got a couple games with some totals I think have a good chance to go under. The tough one's going to be Tennessee and Cleveland. It's bounced around. It was at 33. It's back up at 33.5 right now. I see a scenario where this is a game where neither team gets to 15 points. You could have some weather. The Titans have played hard, give them credit, but I don't know how that offense is going to score points against that Browns defense. This is a game where it wouldn't surprise me if, one of the defenses at least put some points on the board here. So I don't know that I'm running out to go under a 33.5, but it wouldn't shock me at all if it's more like 26 points, 27 points scored in this game, something along those lines. And then you have Miami at the Jets, 41.5. Tua on the road, cold weather. We've heard all the narratives before. The Dolphins do have Darren Waller back, gives them another option to work with. So you can definitely make the case the Dolphins are peaking at the right time. They're playing hard for Mike McDaniel. They're trying to save his job. They need this one, but the Jets have been very, very feisty lately. Could see a big Brees Hall game. If Devin Achane lets it rip on the other side of the ball, that should be enough. But if the Jets could muddy this one up, keep the Dolphins around 20 points, I definitely think they have a puncher's chance here. And, 41 and a half, just a pinch on the low side. But I think this one could end up settling probably even around 40 and a half or so. So it might come down a little bit still from this. So I don't mind looking there for that. Crazy numbers this week. Matthew Stafford's been doing wild things. When I was looking around, putting together a couple of my parlays, I was just looking at the different props for his touchdown passes. Matthew Stafford to have one plus passing touchdown this week, at least one passing touchdown, minus 2,100. I mean, okay, I don't know what you would ever do with that. Almost shocks me that it's on the board, but there you go. That's out there if you're looking for it. And we saw the Seahawks get the shutout last week. I was looking here. I'm like, well, maybe the Seahawks could do it two in a row. When's the last time we had two shutouts? The Seahawks are actually plus 2,500 to get the shutout. Best odds for the shutout, though, belong to the Browns, plus 1,600 for them to win with a shutout over the Titans. I don't know that we're going to get one 2 weeks in a row, much less from the Seahawks 2 weeks in a row, but I thought it was a fun little number to explore. And then I was mentioning, how low that Tennessee at Cleveland game could go. The lowest I'd be willing to buy it down if you go all the way to under 23 and a half, just kind of assume like a 13 to 10 game, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, something right in there. That's plus 356. Probably not something I'm getting to on my own, but if I was having a little bit of fun with a parlay or a teaser, I might be willing to really, really go under that game. Of course, now somehow Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are going to combine for 6 touchdowns because that's how the NFL works, but that's why we love it. Every year, the Westgate Sportsbook in Las Vegas hosts their famous Super Contest, a wagering contest, and on Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, we host our SupaFly Contest, which is not as famous, but far, far more fly, because that's how we do here. We stay fly. Very similar premise. Each week, JDG and I will be making our 5 favorite spread wagers, and we're going to use the odds being used in the Westgate Super Contest. Not a banner week. Last week, I led the way at 2 and 3. Hit on Cincinnati plus 7, Houston plus 3.5. Both dogs won outright. Missed on Detroit minus 2.5, Denver minus 6.5, and the Giants plus 7.5. Jamie G did me one worse. He went 0 for 5. He missed on Detroit minus 2.5 as well. Kansas City minus 3, Philadelphia minus 7, the Rams minus 10.5, and Denver minus 6.5. So he got caught with 4 of the favorites he was on all losing. So them's the break sometimes. Yeah, let's not repeat last week. For the season, I am 31 and 34. I've been gotten by the hook twice, 0-2 to the cool breeze. JBG is now 25, 39, and 1 on the season. The hook has worked for him thrice and against him thrice. 3 and 3 for the cool breeze for Jamie G. I am in the lead, so I'm going to give my picks first here. This week, I'm going with Jacksonville plus 1.5 versus Indianapolis. Houston plus 3.5 at Kansas City, Denver minus 7.5 at the Raiders, Chicago plus 6.5 at Green Bay, and the Rams minus 8 at Arizona. I have Jamie G's picks here. He is going with the Commanders, Washington plus 2 on the road at Minnesota. He's got Cleveland minus 3.5 versus Tennessee, Seattle minus 7 at Atlanta, Indianapolis minus 1.5 at Jacksonville, and Philadelphia minus 2.5 at the Chargers. We are on opposite sides of this Jacksonville game. We'll see how it goes. I think it will be a close one. Again, I've already expressed my likeness for, the way I like the Jaguars here. Jamie G still kind of believes in the Colts here. No sweat against that. They were one of the better teams, if not the best team, through the first month or so of the season. So they certainly have a high range of outcomes within their window here. Just hasn't been going that way recently. Again, now just the injuries to the Colts kind of hard to kind of overlook here, and they're kind of trending the wrong way while the Jaguars just feel like they are trending in the correct direction here. I'm on Houston plus 3.5. I think they have a decent chance to win this game outright. The Chiefs have not been good in close games this season. You could probably even tempt me into the Houston money line, but the fact that I'm getting the 3 and the hook here makes this a pretty easy call for me. Jamie G taking the Commanders plus 2. I talked to him earlier the other day about this. He's willing to go there whether or not there is Jaden Daniels involved. Basically just an indictment of the Washington offense here. He doesn't think they can really do much against the Commanders defense. They did a pretty good job against a decent Denver offense last week. I'm laying the 7.5 with Denver. it is what it is. I just don't know how the Raiders are going to rack up a lot of points against that Denver defense. Brock Bauer should be able to. They should be just giving him about 20 targets at this point. It's obviously not going to happen for Janty. That offensive line is a mess right now. So I just don't have enough faith in the Raiders to put real points on the board. I think the Broncos are going to score a minimum of 24. So they don't really have to do even that much on defense to cover this. Jamie G's got the Seahawks laying the touchdown. As long as that Atlanta defense doesn't kind of figure Darnold out and force a performance similar to what we've seen the last 2 weeks, he should cruise unless Bijan has an absolute monster. For the sake of some of my fantasy and dynasty teams, I certainly hope that Bijan has the monster here, but I don't know. Maybe there's a chance of this one being a sneaky shootout a little bit. But again, if Seattle gets up early, that defense should put the clamps on, and we'll be wondering why they were only favored by a touchdown. Then I have Chicago plus 6.5. Again, they're leading the NFC. They've shown a knack for winning close games. The defense makes timely plays. They can rush the ball. Odunze is pretty banged up, but that might mean more DJ Moore, more Luther Burden, more Loveland. They have a pretty deep bench in terms of the skill position players. Offensive line is playing a little bit better. Williams can make things happen out of structure with his legs a little bit. And again, the Packers play great against the Lions, and they've been a real mixed bag against everybody else. So I'm definitely cool with taking the 6.5 here. Jamie G is laying 2.5 for my Philadelphia Eagles. I do not know if he knew Jalen Carter was not going to be playing, had surgery on both shoulders, going to be out for a couple of weeks, very well could be out until the playoffs or at least the very, very end of the regular season. No Jalen Carter, no Lane Johnson. That is a problem for the Eagles. The main thing they have going for them is on the other side of the ball. Justin Herbert looks like he is going to play after recently undergoing surgery, kind of like Aaron Rodgers on his non-throwing wrist. Might not even be able to take snaps under center. They might have to bring Trey Lance in at the goal line, but they also might be getting Omarion Hampton back this week. We saw the Eagles get smashed by the Bears running backs last week. And again, now no Jalen Carter on top of that. So it is what it is. I hope for my bird's sake, Jamie G is right, but I don't know that I would be laying the 2.5 here. If we knew it was going to be Trey Lance the whole time, I'm probably comfortable with it, but otherwise probably not going to go there. Same thing, Jamie G's laying the 3.5 with Cleveland. This just could be a really, really low scoring affair. So I don't really like having to lay any points here to a certain degree. So I would probably actually lean towards Tennessee and the points if you put a gun to my head. But I don't think I'm going to be going that way if I'm doing anything with this game. It's probably Judkins props or the total. And that's pretty much where we're at this week. There are a few games where we're not even really on, apparently. You had Cincinnati and Buffalo. I considered taking the Bengals plus 5.5 there. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Again, if I had a lean, it's probably New Orleans plus 8.5, but I don't really love it enough to play it. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Again, Ravens favored by 6. Just not a game I want to have a lot of exposure to. And Miami at the Jets. If I'm going to do anything, it might be Jets. Give me the Jets on the money line in the upset. Maybe bank the under here, the Tua interception prop, but probably not willing to go there in the SupaFly contest. Once again, it's getting to be that time of the season, so make sure you keep an eye on the weather this week. It doesn't look like we're going to have any insane wind, but there's going to be a little snow, some really low temperatures, and we're going to get a little bit of wind in a couple places. Most notably, probably that Cleveland, Tennessee.
Straight up now, tell me, is it gonna be you and me together? Or are you just having...
There is a decent chance that betting spreads and sides isn't really your thing. You just want to pick a winner straight up to win. If that sounds like you are in luck because it's time for Paula's picks. This is a money line wagering contest between Jamie G and myself. We each started out the season with 1,000 cricket coins, and every week we have to make our favorite money line wager. There are rules about how much we have to wager. We are in the back third of the season, so we now must wager somewhere between 20% and 100% of our bankroll on our favorite money line for the week. Whoever has the most coins at the end of the season is the winner as long as they are in the green. And we're also tracking how we are doing betting the money line versus how these wagers would be doing if we had bet them on the spread. So it is a contest, but we're also trying to learn a little something while we're at it. Last week, Jamie G leading the way here. He had 468 coins on the Jacksonville money line, minus 298. They won, so we turned a profit of about 157 coins. He is up about 484 for the season. I am down. I lost 2 in a row recently, so I only had about 61 coins on the Houston money line, plus 160. Houston was triumphant, so I turned a profit of about 98 coins. So I'm still down about 717 for the season. Overall, you put us together, we're down about 233 coins to the money line, and we're down about 1,547 coins to the spread. So right now, the money line has been more profitable in that it's been less profitable by about 1,314 coins, and Jamie G is in lead over me by a little bit over 1,201 coins. So I have some work to do if I want to close the gap, as does the spread. This week, Jamie G's minimum wager is 296.82 coins, while his maximum wager is 1,484.08 coins. My minimum wager is 56.57 coins, while my maximum wager is 282.83 coins. Jamie G is going big but short this week. He's putting 1,075 cricket coins on the Seattle Seahawks money line. He's feeling his boy Sam Darnold. That is minus 355, traveling to Atlanta to face the Falcons. Spread on that one is -7, so 175 points to bring back about 1,378. No way I can match that. I have to kind of figure out some way to make up some ground. I could go all in on a shorter odds kind of money line, but I really couldn't find anything I was looking for in the range, kind of right around -200 or so. I was either going to have to go shorter than that, or I could just wager less and go up. So I'm going to do a little bit of what I did last week. I'm going to attack the Colts on the money line. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars money line. I'm putting 137 cricket coins on it. That is plus 105. Jaguars are 1.5 point dog at home to the Colts. 137 coins to bring back about 281. Again, roughly about the same return I would have gotten for going all in on a team in that -200 range, and I actually prefer doing it this way. So Duval. I'm rooting for the Jags, rooting against the Colts second week in a row. If it works this week, might have to go back to the well for a third time because everything happens in threes, especially on Paula's picks.
I didn't win 5 batting titles because it was fun.
Right.
I won it because I wanted to be the best. Do you see what I'm saying?
Nah, not really, man.
There's nothing more fun than winning. So come on, drink up. I'll have one with you.
Nice. Let's do it, Boggs. Let's drink.
Cheers.
I'd like to consider myself an optimist who believes that anything is possible. But if I'm going to be real, nobody can outdrink Wade Boggs on a cross-country flight. It's literally impossible. So if you can't outdrink the man, why don't we take some inspiration from him? Just try to bet like him. This is Bet It Like Boggs in honor of Wade Boggs, former Major League Baseball player, is most definitely still alive. We're doing a little bit of a player prop contest, baseball style. Each week, Jamie G and I are going to make 3 prop wagers, a single for 100 cricket coins, a double for 50 cricket coins, and a triple for 25 cricket coins. And then we're going for a home run parlay. We're putting 10 coins on a 3-leg parlay consisting of our single, double, and triple wagers. So every week, we will each be risking 185 cricket coins. Last week, we had a double edition of the Boggs because of the Thanksgiving Black Friday slate. I went 2 for 8 at the plate, down about 71 cricket coins. Jamie G went 2 for 8 as well, but he was going shorter, so he took an L of about 163 coins, putting us down about 233 coins, going 4 for 16 at the dish. On the season, I am in the lead in that I am doing less bad. I am down 548 coins. Jamie G is down about 992 coins, putting us down about 1,540 coins overall for the season through 13 weeks. For my single for the first time this year, and I can't believe neither of us have gone here before, give me the Davante Adams anytime touchdown scorer, 100 cricket coins at -145. Davante Adams anytime TD scorer, 100 coins to bring back about 169. Dude has been absolutely rolling, at least 1 touchdown, 6 straight games, 11 total touchdowns in that stretch, 1 or more touchdowns in 9 of his last 11 games, only 3 games all season without a touchdown versus Houston, San Francisco, and Baltimore. So got a feeling he is going to find Mr. Endzone against the Cardinals. Please and thank you. For my double, I have 50 cricket coins on the bounce back from Jackson Smith in Jigba. Give me 120 plus receiving yards for JSN, plus 236. So 50 coins, Jackson Smith in Jigba, 120 plus receiving yards, 50 coins to bring back 168. He's hit this mark 6 times this season, exactly half of his games, including 5 of the last 8. And this is a pass defense that has given up 100 plus yards to guys like Adney Mitchell, Pop Douglas. So I'm feeling pretty good about the big bounce back here. Given that Jamie G likes the Seahawks quite a bit this week, I think he's probably joining me on this train. And for my triple, I am putting it on Old Man Stafford. 25 cricket coins on Matthew Stafford, 4+ passing touchdowns. This is plus 387, so 25 coins to bring back about 122. Done it 3 times this season, all within the last 6 games, and he's thrown 20 total touchdowns in that stretch over his last 6. So if anybody can do it, Matthew Stafford can, and that's why it's kind of a crazy number for 4+, that plus 387. This is what most other quarterbacks get for the 3+ passing touchdowns. So the man is on a roll. When they get into the scoring zone, all they do is pass. So those are the 3 legs of my home run parlay. You have Devontae Adams anytime touchdown, Jackson Smith and Jigba 120+ receiving yards, and Matthew Stafford 4+ passing touchdowns. You parlay those together, your odds are plus 1,781. So if you're betting 10 cricket coins on that, you're bringing back about 188. Jamie G is next up at the bat. And for a single, he's going with his boy Bucky Irving, 60+ receiving yards. That is minus 189. 100 coins to bring back about 153. Excellent matchup against the Saints, with Baker Mayfield still a little bit banged up. Feels like a spot where they're really going to lean on Bucky Irving. They were supposed to ease him in last week, and I still think he had 20+ touches. So excellent spot for Bucky. Loving this one. For Jamie G's double, no surprise, he's going to Sam I Am. 50 cricket coins on Sam Darnold to have 240+ passing yards. That's plus 103. So 50 coins to bring back about $102. Easy peasy, unless the defenses have figured something out. If Darnold reverts to what he's done against defenses who aren't the Vikings or the Rams, this should be done maybe in the first half. We've actually seen that so far this season. And for his triple, Jamie G is doubling down on Sam Darnold. He has 25 cricket coins on Sam Darnold to have 3+ passing touchdowns. That is plus 350, so 25 coins to bring back about 113. That means that Jamie G's 3-leg home run parlay is an SGPX, a single game parlay X, available on DraftKings. Just make sure you enable that, and you can parlay a single game parlay with anything you want, including other single game parlays. So he's got the 3 legs here: Bucky Irving, 60+ rushing yards, Sam Darnold, 240+ passing yards, and 3+ passing touchdowns. Parlayed together, your odds are plus 817, so 10 coins to bring back about 92 cricket coins. It's very easy to get all worked up and excited after hanging out with Paula and Boggs, so let's slow it down a little bit for some floor play. This is another wagering contest. Jamie G and I each started with 1,000 cricket coins. The idea here is to try and grow your bankroll slowly and steadily. So each week we just make one wager. Our floor wager has to be something short, odds minus 150 or shorter. And every week we have to wager exactly half of our bankroll on it. So that's the idea here, just to see the process, if we can grow our roll slowly and steadily, like the tortoise. Last week, I just added a bunch of points to Houston. I was feeling pretty confident, but not so confident when you got to put the big money on it. So I had about 1,384 coins on Houston, plus 12.5 on the alternate spread. So profit of about 380 coins. Jamie G teased the Rams line down to minus 6.5, had about 93 coins on that. Did not matter what he teased it down to unless he was getting points with the Rams, because they lost. So he lost about 93 coins. So overall for the week, up about 287. For the season, I'm up about 2,149 coins. Jamie G is down about 907. That means this week I must wager 1,574.29 coins, while Jamie G must wager 46.60 coins. Overall for the season, as a duo, we are up about 1,242 cricket coins. I made the joke about teasing the Rams all the way the other way last week, and I'm going to do pretty much exactly that this week with the Broncos. I have 1,574.29 cricket coins on Denver, plus 1.5 on the alt spread. At the Raiders, that is minus 475, so 1,574.09 to bring back about 1,906 coins. This is maybe a little bit of shell shock from last week, watching the Broncos escape Washington by the skin of their teeth there when the Commanders failed on the 2-point conversion. Here, by buying up to the plus 1.5, I'm just taking the chance off the table that the Raiders somehow keep it close, score a late touchdown. They could kick the extra point to tie it up, but instead go for 2 to win. In this scenario, I'm covered by the 1.5, so that was my line of thinking behind this one. Jamie G is going to put his 46.60 coins on an alternate total in the Pittsburgh at Baltimore game, under 47.5, buying that one up, so it's minus 213 for the odds, 46.60 coins to bring back about 68 cricket coins.
Go long! Go long! Oh, hell, I'll do it myself.
Floor play isn't for everybody. Sometimes you want to just get right down to business and go for the whole biscuit. So you have to learn the art of handling a big one when you're going long. This is another wagering contest, pretty much the polar opposite of floor play. We're trying to grow our bankroll just by hitting a big one once in a while. Each week, Jamie G and I have 100 cricket coins to wager. We can wager them as we see fit on single wagers, or we can go with a parlay. Minimum odds on any single wager are plus 200. Minimum wagers 25 cricket coins. Minimum legs for a parlay are 2. Maximum legs are 4. Minimum odds for any parlay is plus 500. Last week, Jamie G and I both missed on 4-leg parlays, hitting 2 of 4 legs. I hit on Houston minus 2.5, Nico Collins 60 plus receiving yards, missed on CJ Stroud 2 plus passing touchdowns, and Daniel Jones 1 plus interception. And Jamie G hit on Houston plus 7.5 and New Orleans plus 6, but missed on Cleveland plus 7.5 and the Falcons money line. So combined, we lost 200 cricket coins last week going long. For the season going long, I am up about 418 coins. Jamie G is down 550, putting us down about 132 coins overall for the season through 13 weeks. This week, I'm going back to a few single wagers here. I found some long ones that I like, so no need for a parlay. I have 4 single wagers, 25 cricket coins each. First up, I'm going with Bucky Irving, 25 cricket coins on Bucky Irving to have 120 plus rushing yards. This is plus 900, so 25 coins to bring back 250. I already talked about Bucky a little bit. Absolutely love him here. Next up, 25 cricket coins on Devontae Walker, anytime touchdown scorer, plus 1,400. 25 coins to bring back 375. And if you don't know Tez Walker, he's a sophomore receiver for the Ravens. He is probably their best deep threat, their best size speed combo, certainly, maybe outside of Isaiah Likely. He got 2 deep shots last game. I think this is a chance where the Ravens are really looking to create some offense. His snap share has been on the rise. I know they have Bateman. I know they have DeAndre Hopkins. At least he's running ahead of Tylen Wallace now. Might only get, again, 2 targets. I'm hoping for more like 4, but they're going to probably be very high quality targets, deep shots. I think he had a 2 touchdown game earlier this season, not even looking for 2, just looking for 1. So Devontae Walker, anytime touchdown score, 25 at plus 1,400. Again, bringing back 375. And then I had to go with a quarterback somewhere. I think the Broncos offense is going to bounce back big this week. So I'm putting 25 cricket coins on Bo Nix to have 4 plus passing touchdowns. That is plus 1,580. Again, Matthew Stafford's like plus 375 for the same prop. So I'm liking a lot better with Bo Nix in terms of that number. 25 coins to bring back 420. And then finally, talk about the ultimate bounce back. I like the Jags. Someone has to find the end zone. I have 25 cricket coins on Brian Thomas Jr. to be a 2 plus anytime touchdown scorer. If you drafted him in fantasy leagues, probably took him very, very early. He's done nothing for you. He might be the guy that pushes you into the playoffs. That is plus 2,200. So 25 coins to bring back 575 if Brian Thomas Jr. can find the end zone not once, but twice against the Colts. Jamie G is going with a parlay, but he's mixing it up. He is not going with a 4-legger like last week. He's going with a 3-legger this week. Leg number 1, he's just taking the Seattle Seahawks with conviction here, -7. That is minus 105 right now. Seahawks traveling to face Atlanta. Leg 2, he's again taking Cleveland on the line, -4.5 at home against the Titans. This one is also minus 105, and he's also showing conviction. This is just a 3-leg conviction parlay. He's got the Washington Commanders on the money line, traveling to Minnesota. That is plus 110. So you parlay these 3 legs together. Seattle -7, Cleveland -4.5. And the Washington Commanders money line, your odds are plus 700. So a wager of 100 cricket coins returns 800 cricket coins. Not the longest thing you've ever seen, but it'll get it done and it'll help take a bite out of that holiday shopping.
This is it, baby. End of the road.
This is it, baby. The end of the road, the grand finale, more in the DMX style than the Boys to Men style. Nothing but our absolute favorite wagers for this week 14 Sunday main slate from here on out. We're going to start with our big boy bets, our absolute favorite single wager. Favorite thing we're getting money down here on the week 14 Sunday main slate. Last week, Jamie G and I both hit our big boy bets. I was on Houston plus 3.5, turned a profit of about 231 coins. Jamie G was on Jacksonville over 22.5 team points at Tennessee. He turned a profit of about 161 coins, putting us up about 393 coins overall. For the season on our big boy bets, I'm up about 1,113 coins, while Jamie G is down about 237 coins, putting us up about 877 coins overall. I went with Houston, just took the straight up spread last week. This week, I'm going to get a little bit tricky. I like the Jaguars here. I like them enough to take the alternate spread. I'm going to get the Jaguars at -2.5. They're currently +1.5. So I'm going with the alternate spread here. Jaguars -2.5 at home versus Indy. That's +125. So wagering 250 cricket coins to bring back about 563. And similar to last week, Jamie G is once again going with a team total here. He has 250 cricket coins on Denver, over 21.5 points at the Raiders. Love this one. Not the longest odds at -180, but feel great about it. 250 coins to bring back about 389.
Back to the future!
And then we have to get into our favorite futures wagers as we go back to the futures. We're doing this restaurant style. You can do a small, medium, or large wager each week. It has to be a future. Small wager is 25 coins, medium wager is 50 coins, and the large wager is 100 coins. Just to give you an update where we're at, we've been doing this for 5 weeks. My 5 futures I have on the board pending so far are Jonathan Taylor to lead the league in rushing yards. That was a large wager at +105. Odds on that are now -750. Then I had Mike McDonald, Seahawks coach, to be coach of the year. Got down on a small wager at +500. That's now at +650. I have Matthew Stafford to be the NFL touchdown leader for touchdown passes. That's a large wager at +105. That is now -1,000. Loving that. I had the Los Angeles Chargers to miss the playoffs, a medium wager at +130. That's now +110. And then finally, last week, I got down on Houston to be the AFC South champions, a small wager at +700. Odds have come down by less than half to +310 now. We'll see what happens if they can pull off a victory this week. I'm going to add another large wager to the mix here, to my pending wagers. I'm putting 100 cricket coins, a large wager on James Cook, Buffalo Bills running back, to lead the NFL for the regular season in rushing yards. That is +160. A wager on 100 coins to bring back 260 coins. He's only 54 yards behind Jonathan Taylor. Taylor's -195 here. If you look at their schedules, I greatly prefer the Bills' schedule when at least in terms of rushing yards. The Bills have 2 excellent matchups left. While you're looking at the Colts, who pretty much have 5 negative matchups. Don't get me wrong, the other 3 matchups for the Bills are also pretty negative. But overall, I don't think the pricing should be this far apart. And you also have the fact that the Bills are kind of trending in the right direction, especially with the rushing game. They've decided they're going to lean on it. Meanwhile, the Colts are kind of trending in the wrong direction. Teams are loading up on Jonathan Taylor and daring Daniel Jones to beat them. I can see this continuing. I can see those odds flipping around in the near future. So I really love getting down on James Cook again to lead the NFL in rushing yards for the regular season. As far as Jamie G's open pending futures, he has Kansas City to win the AFC West. That was a medium wager at -125. That is now +2,500. He had Pittsburgh to make the playoffs, a large wager at -120. That is now +260. He had Dallas over 6.5 wins. That was a medium wager at -135. That is now off the board. The Cowboys already had 6 wins with 5 to play. They're over on 8 wins is -195. So you don't want to chalk it up before it's official yet, but I think he's taken that one down. Then he had the Los Angeles Rams to win the NFC West. That was a medium wager at -250 when he put it down. They're now -145. And then last week he went with the Rams again, this time to win the NFC. Medium wager at +200. Now that's at +235. This week, he is going back to the NFC West, but this time he's going to go with a large wager on the San Francisco 49ers to finish with under 11.5 wins. This is -170, so 100 coins to bring back about 159. Right now, they have 9 wins. They're on the bye. They come out of the bye, they get Tennessee. Sorry, that's 10 wins. They have 3 games left after that, so they still have to win 2 of those to get over 11.5. Week 16, they're at Indy. Week 17 versus Chicago, and then Week 18 versus Seattle. You can always kind of quibble about week 18 and who will have what to play for, but the way it's working out now, it seems very likely Seattle will have something to play for. So it's going to be tough for San Francisco to pick up 2 of those games. So I like this one here. I don't love the -170. I wish this was more like -145 or something, but I get what he's putting down here. Very, very competitive AFC or very, very competitive NFC West right now. Definitely looking forward to see what the 49ers have cooking up, especially because I have Christian McCaffrey on one of my most important fantasy teams. And I don't know who you are, but you are one of our most important viewers or listeners. Thank you very much for checking out this edition of Bet It, Bank It, Blow It. Any questions? Did we help you out with something? Did we screw you over? Let us know in the comments or on social media. Any ideas about wagering, any kind of contest, any experiments you would like us to conduct? We're always interested in finding new angles. So again, please let us know if you've got anything to say. Thanks again for checking out the show. Bet It, Bank It, Blow It is presented by Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. Find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seize the Gap FF and on the web at seizethegapff.com. Simple and easy to remember, just like those flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please remember to touch Mr. Thumb. I'm Magnum Mills on behalf of myself and Jamie G. Good luck this week, and remember, we can help you bet it, we can help you bank it, but blowing it is up to you.